Welcome to Mr. Nat's Maths. Okay, today I'm going to talk about decimals and negative numbers, okay, because I came up with a misconception in my class. So for grade 5, we're looking at decimals, and it keeps coming up about negative numbers. Decimals are not negative numbers. So here I've got a place value chart, and I've got a number line. And I think I can see where this misconception comes from, that decimals are negative numbers. When we're looking at a number line, we know that we're counting positive numbers when we go to the right. And we know that we're counting negative numbers when we go to the left. So I could put 1 here, I could put 2 here, I could put 3 here. And on the same scale then, going the opposite direction, I would have negative numbers. -1, -2, -3, and so on. Okay? Now, when we're looking at the place value chart, this isn't a number line, and I think that's maybe where the misconception comes in. This is a way of representing numbers. It's how we show what number we're talking about. And we've used base 10 to help us organize these numbers. So we know that this column is where we're going to show ones, how many ones we've got in our number. This is going to be the tens. How many tens have we got in our number? And the hundreds, and the thousands, and so on. We know that. In grade 5, we're looking at the columns which are less than 1. Okay? This is not below 0. These are less than 1. Okay? So these are parts of a number, parts of a whole number. They're like fractions. Very similar. They're decimals. Decimals can be represented as fractions. Fractions can be represented as decimals. They're, in effect, pretty much the same thing. So down here, 10 of these will make 1. So these are tenths. And 10 of these will make a tenth. If 10 of those for every tenth, that's 10 lots of 10, which makes 1. 10 times 10 is 100. So this column is called the hundredths column. And the pattern continues, and we know these are thousandths and so on in that direction. So if I've got the number, let's say 2.25. 2.25. This is not a negative number. If I'm talking about cakes, I've got 2 cakes, and I got 2/10 of a cake, and I got 5/100ths of the cake. I have them. They're in my hand, or they're on my plate. They are positive numbers. The only way that I can make this a negative number is by putting in a minus sign in front of there. Let me do that. Now I can say this is minus 2.25. Okay? Let me get rid of that minus sign for now, because we're just going to focus on positive numbers and how this decimal, where does this come on a number line? So you can see this is positive. There's 2.25 cakes. I've got 2.25 cakes. It's not going to be down here in the negative numbers. I've got 2 cakes, right? And then I've got 0.25. Now, actually, I've chosen this number on purpose, 0.25, because 0.25 represents a quarter. This means there's 2/10 and 5/100ths, which it effectively means there's 20/100ths here and 5/100ths, 25/100ths. 25, as we know, is a quarter of 100. So 0.25 is the same as a quarter. So when I'm looking at my number line, I know that 2.25 is going to come. Let me put a halfway mark in there and a quarter of the way mark in there. So 2.25 is there on my number line. We can see that it's a positive number. It's not negative. Okay? Even if I change this number now, let's change it into a 0. I have 0.25. Is this a negative number? Well, no, because like I just said, 0.25 is the same as a quarter. So that means I've got a quarter of whatever it is I'm talking about. If it's an orange, I've got 0.25 oranges. I've got a quarter of an orange. Okay, where is that on my number line? Well, it's not 1, but it's more than 0. It's not negative. It's something. It's 0.25. So it's not quite 1, but it's more than 0. And like I said, it's worth a quarter. So if I mark the halfway mark and a quarter way mark, so 0.25 is here. So let's put that in, 0.25. And this was 2.25. Right, so you can see how we are representing these numbers on a number line, okay, by counting up. These numbers here, maybe it's confusing because we're going past this line, but this line actually represents where the decimal point is. It doesn't mean, like this line, that it becomes negative. There's still something here. It's a fraction of something, okay? Any number in here, if I've got a 0 here, any number that I put in here, no matter how long it is, okay, it will exist somewhere between 0 and 1. So 0.257 would exist somewhere between 0 and 1 on this line. It's a positive number. Okay, I hope that helps you understand the difference between decimals and negative numbers. Okay, right, hope that helps you with today's lesson. That's it for now. Cheers.